Hi there, I'm Dark Shades, and I am talking about the situation that we have between black men and black women. And I think I'm pleased to say I have a partial resolve. Well, at least I have an understanding based on the responses I received on why black men are so hostile to us black women. It's transference, really. It transfers way back, and we're not, well, many of us are not guilty of the crime, but we're being persecuted for the crime. Now, from what I understand, we've got a lot of single mothers who have raised up sons. I don't know how they raised them, but whatever technique they used, it's affected the sons. I don't know if they were resentful because the father left them and they've therefore taken it out on the sons. And I'm talking about the ones who have this issue with black women. I'm not talking about this generally. And I'm not quite sure whether there was a lack of love, there was neglect, and whether all of those, the resentment that the mother had for the father was taken out on the son. Anyway, the fact of the matter is that is the role model that the son saw growing up. A mother who was not nurturing, who was not supportive, who probably shouted and was aggressive anytime he did something wrong, and who didn't have his back. So that was one of the main reasons, or the first transference reasons for the hostility. Also, we underestimate how sensitive men are, how black men are, because I'm talking about black men because I'm black, not because I'm negating any other race. We underestimate how sensitive black men are. They've been raised to be bullish, masculine, and inside they're no different from women really, with a heart, a soul, and they feel vulnerable. They feel vulnerable amongst women regardless of who they are, because I understand because of feminism, funnily enough. Now, what happened when feminism came is that, of course, black women had the right to take the pill. So therefore, a man, if he had sex with her, he can no longer dictate whether or not she gets pregnant. She does. Then we have, of course, the Abortion Act that came out. And for a lot of men, that was a real tragedy because they wanted children, and the women who didn't want it because for whatever reason was killing their children. So they have that up against black women. Even though it happens all the way around the world, they have black women up for feminism, the Feminism Act, and being a part of it and not sticking to traditional norms and values. So they are resentful about that. Yeah, so they're resentful about that. We also have, what else was there? Yeah, there seems to be this perception that women only want babies if there's something in it for them. And then especially in America where men have to pay child support, and they take the child support, exploit the situation and leave the man high and dry, and he can hardly see the child. It could be somebody he hardly knows, and they're very bitter about that. Now, once again, that isn't just a black on black situation. We know it happens, you know, with other races, but we're talking about black people here, and I'm trying to explain the reasons why the black man is so hostile to black women. There's lack of communication. I think men are embarrassed to discuss how they feel they're falling short. Black women do tend to remind them of how they want their man to be. Sometimes it works because it works in some parenting strategies. Some parents will push their child and say, listen, you know, your what list, go and do this, and, you know, get a job, you know, do something with yourself. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes the child, some of them commit suicide, some of them get depressed, some of them start taking drugs, some of them run away from home. So that kind of strategy doesn't always work. And similarly in relationships, black on black relationships, where the female believes she's being cruel to be kind, if she's doing it to the wrong person or to a man who hasn't had support growing up, it can have detrimental effects. And I believe that's what's happening. A lot of men are embarrassed to talk about their background. When we meet men, a lot of them, they look chivalrous and they've tried to win us over through charm or whatever. And as females, we have kind of put them on a pedestal. And when they don't come up to our expectations of them, a lot of women, you know, get upset and they say things that are hurtful to somebody who is sensitive. And I think that's another reason why we have this lack of communication, because people are not opening up and being honest, especially men. You need to open up and be honest. Like I said, I was watching Love Island, and even in that program, I know it's a reality show, but the men felt one way but portrayed another, and the girls were oblivious to the way the men behaved, what the men were actually feeling. And similarly, you know, we're often told as women that, you know, men are not mind readers. We're not mind readers either. We're nurturers, we're creators of life, but we can't know what you're thinking or how you're feeling if you're putting on a brave face and we don't know what's happening. Sorry about that. Another man said, what's in it for them to have a relationship with a black woman? You know, he feels the social contract is broken, and that the odds are against them. Once again, it is about lack of communication. It is about females understanding the sensitivities of men. I don't know if it's too late to put things right. You know, the way things are going, it may well be, because people are now conditioned to behave in a certain way. Women are conditioned to be satisfied living alone. A lot of men are satisfied and feel more comfortable living on their own and not having to account to anyone. So we don't know how this is going to pan out. I'd like to think that these videos on the black man and black woman feeling hostile, being angry at the mother and hating on black women, will go towards understanding each other and making it more easier to live with each other and just have a friendship, so that there's not so many insults running around. So that's all for now. I'm Dark Shades, so take care.